Hello, everyone. It's a privilege for me to be able to join you before we start the Lenten season with Ash Wednesday, and just wanted to reflect a little bit about the significance of Lent. During Lent, we remember that Jesus, before his public ministry, entered the desert for 40 days and he faced temptations from the evil one. And not that Jesus shared our fallenness, our concupiscence, but he himself was tempted against his identity as that he is the beloved Son of the Father. And so we know how the gospel narrative goes, that he was tempted in various ways. And so we are following the example of Jesus by entering this sacred time where we too go a little bit deeper in order to grow in our relationship with the Lord and to grow in our identity as beloved and sons and daughters. And so wanted to reflect on the purpose of Lent, and there's several purposes of the Lenten season. The first is that we're preparing for the holiest time of the year. We all know that Holy Week begins with Passion Sunday, and then we celebrate those great liturgies on Holy Thursday, Good Friday, and then Easter Vigil leading into Easter Sunday and what we call the Holy Triduum. And so it's the most sacred time of the year. And so Lent is just an appropriate time for us to go a little bit deeper in order to really enter into Jesus's Paschal Mystery, which is the suffering, death, and resurrection. So that is one purpose that we celebrate Lent. Another is to walk with catechumens. Those are people who are looking to enter into the Christian life. And so catechumens, strictly speaking, are those who are not baptized yet. And we walk with them, and they've been preparing around the year or even longer. But that final immediate preparation when they're going to be baptized and receive their first communion and receive confirmation, we are walking with them. Also, to walk with candidates. Candidates are different than catechumens. Candidates are those who are already baptized, but maybe they were baptized in a different Christian denomination and are looking to join and be in full communion with the Catholic Church. So to receive their first communion and to be confirmed. So Lent historically has been a time for us to walk with catechumens and candidates. But also it's meant for us. We're called to continue to grow in conversion of heart. And so like Jesus, when he entered the desert, he faced various temptations. We are called to face the temptations that we have in our lives, and even to try to address some of those sins in our life that we're trying to grow in freedom. And so we too are called to grow in the freedom that we find as sons and daughters of God. And so throughout Lent, we're seeking to make more space for God, for his Holy Spirit to be with us. And so during this Lenten season, the church offers us three traditional practices that really help us to make more space for God and for his Holy Spirit: prayer, fasting, and almsgiving. Prayer really helps us to grow in trust, to really depend on the Lord when it comes to our walk with life. Fasting helps us to grow in self-discipline so that we can be ready to do the right thing when we need to. And then almsgiving, which means that we're reaching out in charity. And of course, that's ultimately the greatest thing, is for us to love one another. And so prayer, fasting, and almsgiving are really three focuses that we are going to focus on during Lent. And later, we're going to have more videos on each of those items. Lent itself is 40 days. You're probably asking the question, well, it seems more than that because there's like 46 days. And we don't count the Sundays that are within the 40 days. And so Sundays are meant to be a little bit of a day of rest. And so some people continue their practices of prayer, fasting, almsgiving on Sundays. Some kind of relax them a little bit, but Sundays are technically not counted in that 40. And the 40 days really ends up on Holy Thursday. And so that's how that's calculated. And of course, during Lent, we also have a special day called the Solemnity of St. Joseph. And so that's another day where we even could take a little break from Lent a little bit by celebrating that feast day and be able to relax maybe one of our practices. During Lent, the church does expect on Ash Wednesday and Good Friday for us to fast and to abstain from meat. And so that is from 18 to 59, that's a strict requirement on Ash Wednesday and Good Friday to both fast and abstain from meat. And then also during Fridays of Lent to also abstain from meat. Doesn't mean we can't fast and abstain on more days, but those are strictly speaking the requirements. And of course, the church does teach that if there is some circumstance, like if a woman is pregnant or if there's some serious illness, um, that we have to take that in consideration with those requirements as well. But then, yes, to take up some spiritual practices of our own. And really, we're invited to do something that really will challenge us in order to grow in our ability to depend on God and to really make more space for God. And so, um, and so throughout Lent, we're invited to uh, celebrate in a certain way. As we come to the Sunday masses and liturgies, you're going to notice that we're not singing the Alleluia. You're going to notice that we're not doing the Gloria. Uh, there's going to be more silence. It's going to be a little more austere. And again, it just gives us that sense that, you know what, we're walking together, we're journeying through the desert together. That way, when we arrive at Holy Week and Easter, all the more we're going to appreciate the beauty and just the wonder of the resurrection. And so Lent is meant to prepare us for all those different things. And so I just want to invite you to start thinking about Lent for next week and just to think about what are some of those ideas that you'd like to do to really enter generously with the Lord and just to know that He walks with us and that He wants us to experience some really beautiful graces this year. Thanks.